Okay, so my topic of discussion today is going to be medical bills. For anybody who's ever had a chronic disease, or those of you who have maybe, siblings of them, family members, you guys know that when you have a chronic disease, medical bills are insane. So, it took me a long time before I sort of realized it because I was diagnosed when I was 15. Up until I was 18, I was underneath my father's insurance, and he never particularly spent too much time telling me about, he wouldn't say it this way, but the financial burden that I could potentially be. It wasn't until I got old enough and got kicked off of his insurance that I realized that being sick's actually very, very expensive. Just to give you guys a rough idea, I went to the pharmacist the other day just to pick up some of my medications, just one. And for a month's supply of this medication, 1 month, it was going to cost over $1,000 for just one. And I'm on like 6 or 7 different medications. But for this one medication, it was going to cost $1,000 before insurance. Fortunately for me, I've been able to get a position with an amazing company, Disney, and their insurance is great. Whereafter, I only had to pay $4 for a month-long supply of this particular medication, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I'm super happy that I can, sort of afford the medication, and I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful for that. I know how lucky I am. But on the other side, I had to realize that I can never not be on insurance. There's no way, like, how could anybody, and I feel so terrible for those people who have these medical conditions but don't have as good of a job or don't have any job at all. Either they have to go without this medication or they're in such terrible medical debt that there's probably never going to be a way that they can get out of it. Now, looking at that, I have to keep in mind that I can never lose my position with my company because, dear God, just the idea of the medications alone would put me in bankruptcy immediately. Not to mention the constant, hospital visits or doctor's visits or all of that. I have to make sure that I stay employed. But with that, it means that I can't necessarily pursue other options. Some people want to leave their job and pursue the idea of self-employment, which is a crazy awesome endeavor that I would love to do, which I am doing sort of part-time on the side. Not saying that I'm not, giving up on my dreams because of it, but understanding that I have to be careful. And then with that, I have to keep in mind that that's again another reason why I'm always on my best behavior at work. I can't risk losing my job. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd probably try my best to be a good employee either way, but that's something to keep in mind. And I'm curious to see, if this reaches other people who have similar concerns. Voice your opinion. Let me know what you think. I'd love to perhaps one day start doing YouTube videos on some of the comments that people make. And again, I want to say that I am extremely blessed with the position that I have in my company, that my medical bills are for the most part taken care of. But even with the medical stuff, I'm still in medical debt. Just because of that, I've been able to graduate college debt-free. I'm pursuing my master's degree paid for by my company, and I'm still in medical debt. Just to give you guys a rough idea of what it's like to live with a chronic disease. And here's food for thought. I believe I read the statistic that the average American is on at least 2 medications, whether that be blood pressure medication, diabetes medication, arthritis, or all the other innumerable diseases that are around today. And that's a whole nother video that I could speak on right there. But I just wanted to talk about sort of my thoughts on how fortunate I am to have medical insurance, but the fact that I can never go off and potentially leave that company. I have to, quote unquote, behave, stay within company guidelines. I have to work for the company, not necessarily, sort of, not in a bad way, but sort of put some of my dreams, some of my goals on the back burner, on a side burner, and pursue those things in my spare time. But with that, that's all I have for you guys.